Hey, so I totally forgot to go out and check the traps this morning. Can you go check the traps that are out on the roof?
Back of the front.
No, out the front. So, I'm so sorry, but so if you go out the front,
Yeah.
you might have to go behind like the parked cars almost across the street, and if you look up on the roof,
Okay.
there's some cages, some traps up there for squirrels.
Okay. Somebody just peed in the fucking house. I think it was
So JJ, so why the open tuning?
Yeah, so that was kind of strange. So I think, well, I guess I should first say, like, I grew up playing in standard tuning, you know, like everybody else, and I played in standard high school and all through college and all that. And in 2017, I was kind of like returning to my roots, so to speak, like musically. And I was listening to a lot of the blues, and a lot of my, like Derek Trucks has been an influence on me for, I don't know, since I was like 14, you know.
Wait, in 20 what? You were returning to your roots?
Like 2017.
So why was that?
I think I just, was like maturing as a musician in some sense, you know.
So what was happening in 2017 for you?
Let's think. I was... let me think. When did I first start playing it? Probably like when I lived back home for like a month and a half in the winter of 2017, back up in New York. And I think that's
from Tennessee.
That's when I first started putting a lot of time into it, I think. But actually, that's not true, because I'm lying. Like earlier in 2017, I was screwing around more with slide, and when I played slide in high school, I would try to do it in standard tuning, like a lot of people do, but this time around I was like, screw it, I'm going all in. I'm going to learn, because I was listening to a lot of Cooter, and also like I've always been listening to a lot of Derek Trucks, so like his sound is just like in my head, what I mean?
And that's not something you can really emulate,
right,
in standard tuning, right?
Right, because he's an open E.
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as I started screwing around in those tunings, I was like, oh, here it all is, and that's like my favorite sound in the world. So it's like I wanted to rebuild my whole approach to guitar based on that,
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So it's like hitting
That's
a
awesome.
big reset button. So it literally felt like moving or something, like to a different country.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you still have.
Moving to a different country.
I don't know, maybe that's a bad metaphor.
Like, well, because you're relearning life, or
Yeah, or it's like you have to, or like sometimes to students, I'll describe it like, if you go to Europe or somewhere and it's still, you're typing on a keyboard, it's, the letters are in different places, but it's all the same letters. It's the same alphabet.
Are the letters in different places?
Yeah, because like different letters have different priority, so it makes more sense to have different keyboards in different countries, depending on what the language is.
Okay.
And
I guess I did not realize that.
so like if you go visit one of those countries and you're using a keyboard that was made for people in that country, it's funny to type on it because you have to be like
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I mean, I've played an open tuning on the fiddle before. Like, there's
Right,
a
like a
lot of
different
fiddle
tuning.
tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you drop, I haven't done it in a while and I can't really speak to it very well.
Yeah.
But I've definitely tried it a bunch.
Right.
And it's very strange. It's just so disorienting.
Yeah.
Makes you feel really weird.
Yeah, I don't know, it just felt like, so at the time too, I was saying, another guitarist that I'd been listening to since I was, 16 maybe, was Charlie Hunter, and he currently plays a 7-string guitar. And
I've listened to him. What is that one album? Baboon Strength?
Yeah, that's one of his records.
Yeah,
I think that's the name of it. Anyway, I can picture the album cover. It's a big baboon.
Yeah.
So I
think that's the one that I'm most familiar with, and a good friend introduced me to that, and I definitely like that a lot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, I used to listen to a lot of his, like, funkier stuff like that, but then in, like, 2016, I got into his, like, how would you describe it? Like, more blues oriented, or more American roots oriented even. So he'd be playing like Hank Williams songs or old Blind Blake songs and that kind of thing.
Nice.
And it was
I forget what you said recently, but you made it clear to me that it's very natural to you and not even a thing to know that you need to have multiple projects going on. Like you would never just do one band. Like you would always have your own thing kind of, you would always have something else going.
I suppose.
You have a very personal practice with music, it seems like to me. That like regardless of what group you're playing with, you're still working on your solo stuff, or you're still, you know what I mean?
Right. I think that's got its advantages and disadvantages, because a lot of the times I feel like I'm so scattered that I never get one thing done. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
jack of all trades.
Yeah, or it's like why am I not practicing something with more intention of what I'm gonna do with that either that piece of music or, you know what I mean? Sometimes I just find myself practicing. But that being said, as I've gotten older now and been having more of a serious relationship with practicing for about 10 years or so, I think I've at least gotten to the point where I can kind of listen to myself and listen to what it is I want to get better at and what problems are holding me up, in both terms of when I'm playing with people and when I'm arranging stuff on my own, and then I can comfortably tackle those problems. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As opposed to like
not being sure what you're doing or what to practice.
Or just always being a struggle. Like I just remember so many times in college I was like, I'm gonna just lock myself in the practice room for 6 hours or whatever.
And you would do that?
Yeah, and it's like back then too, you didn't just plug into your iPhone rig or whatever. And, it's like I had I had to bring my amp, my guitar, my backpack full of my laptop and speakers so I could play along with like jam tracks and shit.
This is what you would do to practice?
Yeah,
and you would do
my
it for
freshman year. Yeah, and I would, but this like. Did
you have a scholarship? Did you have to get accepted, or what was your deal?
I got like very little scholarships.
Yeah.
In undergrad, anyway.
Okay.
I think there was at least. So I went to a community college for a year, and I think there was some pretty decent scholarships to have there, but at least I didn't get any. But I got like some little ones from my high school, and then. The same thing, like I got a couple little ones from Oswego, which I transferred to my sophomore year. So like most of my undergrad was at Oswego, and that's where I like my loyalty. Nice. Sasha, you're like cleaning yourself.
I know,
right in
like
the
right here on the podcast. Yeah. Oh well, we should go back to. Man, I feel like we've gotten into some good subject and then like skated on different things. Like we were talking about the guitars. Like. Remember we were talking about Stratocasters and you buying your guitar, so we should go back to that for a minute. Yeah. And you start in bass. So let's go back to you haven't played any instruments yet. Or no, you played trumpet, baritone, trombone, and then you wanted to play bass. And you heard Phil last when you were 12.
Yeah.
And so you started playing.
That's when I got switched to trombone.
Okay.
Like really early that year. And I remember that was like a little badge of like honor.
Okay.
Because the trombone player. It's so funny now that I look back how like funny this stuff sounds. But and it was like such a big deal at the time. But the trombone player quit like shortly before the Christmas recital. And it was a big deal because he had a solo, dude. And then so I had to learn trombone in a couple weeks before the concert and learn the solo.
And learn the solo? Wait, so you learned trombone and the solo on like a few weeks' notice?
Dude, so many things are starting to make sense to me now that I'm putting it out loud.
I love it.
Okay, so that happened in 7th grade, but this is how like it's not as crazy as it sounds. Like I know that sounds really cool, but so I was playing baritone, right?
I know that sounds insanely cool. Like, you're just like, I mean, I get it. Just calm down. It's okay.
Yeah, I know. God.
Back on. Okay, hold on. I'll back on. Okay.
There's so many women listening right now.
I know. They're just like, what? You learned trombone in a few weeks' notice and did the solo? What? JJ? At jmurphyguitar, DM, OMG.
Oh, I wish I'd phrased that better. But, so like, baritone and trombone's like almost the same thing because it's trombone. You do the same. You make the same notes only with slide positions.
Okay.
Versus baritone, it's the same. Only you use finger. You press down 3 valves or 4 valves.
Okay.
Euphonium. I think that's the difference. So it's like you just
so like
switch.
with the baritone, it's like a fingering thing, and with the trombone, it's more of like a stroking, sliding pattern. Okay.
Yes. But it's weird now. Like now that I say that out loud, I remember that at the time, at least in my head, that was like, wow, I just saved the day.
Did it feel like that?
For sure.
So how did the concert go?
And I remember, dude, the music director, when he was telling me how to do that, he goes, I'm not gonna say the kid's name that quit, obviously.
Oh yeah, don't.
But
don't
he
give
said
him more.
something like,
Can we make up a name? Go ahead.
Let's call him Billy.
Okay.
I have a really good friend named Billy, but this is not him.
It's not. That's not. Okay, Billy. We're not talking about
we
you,
didn't
Billy.
grow up together like.
Not Billy, JJ's friend. Okay.
But
this is random Billy.
Billy quits or whatever, and then the band director's telling me, like right there, like right after he quits, that I have to be the one. Like you have to like learn the shit and all that.
JJ, you are the chosen one.
And I was like, but I can't do it. Blah blah blah. I'm sorry, I'm making this story so bad.
But I can't do it. Look out.
But it's just like, you got more talent in your pinky than that kid's got in his whole body. And I was just like, pfft. And that was like,
did he say that to you?
That was the only time anyone's ever like said anything that encouraging me, other than like my parents.
Wow,
whatever, you know
that's
what I mean?
a really
so then like
statement.
Although I did fuck up part of the solo in the concert, but I give myself a solid A-.
Nice.
So
okay.
yeah, I was happy.
Was it like a audience noticeable fuck up or like a JJ self-critical fuck up?
I, at the time, remember thinking maybe the audience didn't notice, but now that I'm older, there's no way they didn't fucking notice.
What was it? What did you do?
I just remember like I botched 2 notes. Okay. It's just like bang, bang, and then back to it. But I do remember.
I got it. All right, we got one more for y'all tonight. Thank you so much again. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Mary and the Pharaoh podcast. This is Deirdre. Please follow us on social media if you would. And we look forward to hearing any feedback that you have for us, suggestions, questions, comments, concerns. All things are appreciated. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Mary and the Pharaoh podcast.